In this section, I will be explaining about the ground reflection model. It is also called as a two-ray model because we are going to consider here a line of sight path and a reflected path. So two rays we are considering. So that is why the name is called as two-ray model also. We have seen about the free space propagation model where there was a direct line of sight path between the mobile station and the base station. But in actual case, this direct path is seldom and it will be having in some cases a ground reflected path. And this type of model, it is found accurate for predicting large-scale signal strength over the distance of several kilometers for a mobile radio system that is using tall towers as well as for LOS applications. So in certain cases based upon the geometry there may be reflection. One important point to note here is that this reflection model or two-ray model prediction is going to work in certain condition. That is, first thing, the height of the transmitter, it should be greater than at least 50 meter. And another thing is that the mobile station, it should not be very much close to the base station. Both the mobile station and the base station, they have to be at some distance apart. So if we are having, say for example, a base station, that is we consider here as a transmitter, and the mobile station here, say we consider here as a receiver. So this is the height of the transmitter. So it should be greater than 50 meter. So that is the first condition. Another condition, they should be put at some distance apart. That is, at least they should be at a distance of D. And this is the height of the receiver, HR. Now we know that this is a direct line of sight path which is going to exist between the transmitter and the receiver. And also, so this is one ray and this is another ray, that is there is a ground reflected path. So this is our incident wave and this is a reflected or the ground wave. So ER is equal to EG in this case. The reflected wave and the ground wave component are equal, and this is the angle of incidence and this is the angle of reflection. And one thing to note here is that the linear distance, that is D in this case, and the displacement is going to be different. That is, the displacement for this LOS path and for the reflected path, it is going to be different. So if we are aiming to derive what will be the received power or what will be the path loss for such a two-ray model, we have to consider the total electric field, say at this particular receiver point. So the total electric field, it will be the sum of the line of sight component and the ground reflected component. Okay, so there will be two propagating wave which is arriving at the receiver. That is a direct wave which travels at a distance of D dash. So you can see this is the direct wave which is having a distance of D dash, and a reflected wave, it is traveling at a distance of D double dash. D is the actual distance, that is in ground level between the transmitter and the receiver. This is D dash, and this component, reflected component, that is having a distance of D double dash. Now when we are going to say that we are going to find the total electric field at this particular point, we cannot assume that this is a scalar sum. It is going to happen as a vector. Why? Because there is a path difference. Okay, path difference between the direct wave and the reflected wave, due to which there will be a phase difference. So this we have to consider the value of the total electric field as a vector component. So when we are writing the expression for say a electric field which is going to occur at a distance of D and time of T, we can have such a equation, that is which is representing the envelope of the amplitude as well as its phase component. Now this equation, you can find that it is directly written in the analysis of two-ray model. So in textbooks you can directly come to this equation. So this equation is basically got from the electromagnetic theory. So how do you write the equation for the EM wave? For example, it is propagating in the Z direction, say at a time of T. So we can write it as the amplitude component E into e raised to minus alpha z cos of omega ct minus beta z. So this is a general equation of how you generally represent the electric field component. Now in the free space etc., if we consider the attenuation alpha is equal to 0 and we are replacing the beta by 2 pi by lambda, and z instead of z we are taking it d, that is to make it arrive at this particular equation. Okay, so using the same notation, so instead of z we can use d, and the envelope here can be written as E0 d0 by d. That is, a concept is that at a reference distance of d0 we will be having the electric field component as capital E0. So what will be the envelope of the electric field at a distance of d? The envelope will be E0 d0 by d. So that is how we have modified here the envelope here. And coming to the phase part, now it can be rewritten, that is cos of omega ct minus 2 pi by lambda d, and taking omega c outwards and modifying this part. Okay, so when we are modifying this part, that is we get this particular equation. So we have taken here omega c out and taken here t minus 2 pi by lambda omega c d. So omega c is 2 pi f, and when we are considering lambda f to be c, we get this particular equation. So that is how they have directly written this equation in the textbooks. Now we are going to find what? The total electric field. The total electric field will be the sum total of ELOS and the ground reflected wave. So if we are modifying this equation for our LOS with the distance of d dash, we get this first equation. And when we are writing for ground reflected wave, we also have to consider the reflection coefficient tau. So here the reflection coefficient tau relating to its transmission coefficient is also given. So in this case we require the reflected component here, and when we are considering the sum total, okay, summing both of them, we have to take that for smaller values of angle of incidence, the reflected wave will be equal in magnitude and 180 degree out of phase with the incident wave. Okay, so that is in this particular case what they are telling is that if you are having small values of angle of incidence, so the reflected wave, it will be having the same magnitude component, it is going to be differing only 180 degree out of phase. So whatever we are having at the incident part, it will be equal but 180 degree out of phase in the reflected component. So how can we write this value? Tau we will consider now it as minus 1. So this is E0 d0 by d dash cos of omega c t minus d dash by c minus 1 into this particular component. So this reflected component. Now what is our aim? We have to find out the expression for the total electric field. Thereby we have to come at the equation for what will be the received power. Now prior to all that, we know that in this particular case there is a phase difference occurring due to the path difference. So first, by using the method of images, let us arrive at how to find out the particular path difference. Okay, that is a path difference between both these components, that is the direct line and the reflected. So we are going to extend this particular diagram, that is we are going to fold it over this x-axis and get use this method of images to find out what will be the path difference. So what will be the path difference delta? It will be obviously d double dash minus d dash. Okay, so in this particular case, so we have to find out this d double dash minus d dash. Now when I have extended this, so the same is happening over here also. So the d double dash, that is this reflected component, it is going to be extended, and this much portion, note this much particular point is d double dash. So how can you write the expression for d double dash minus d dash? Now from the figure, please note what is d double dash here. It will be root of ht plus hr the whole square minus d square. As we are applying Pythagoras theorem to this particular triangle, so I can write it as root of ht plus hr the whole square minus of d square will be this particular value, that is d double dash. That is what is written here. And again coming to d dash. observe from the figure what is d dash from this small triangle. So this much value is ht and this much value is hr. So d dash you can write as root of ht minus hr the whole square. Okay, that is what is going to make this. Then we can write it as what? Plus d square. So that is what is written here. So that is d double dash minus d dash. Then by using the Taylor series approximation, we have to simplify the equation for path difference delta. So we have to assume here that the transmitter receiver separation distance, it is going to be very much large when compared to the ht plus hr. So the distance is very much large when compared to even the sum of the heights. Then we can simplify this expression. That is, if I am taking d outside and simplifying, there is Taylor series means that 1 plus x the whole raised to half is equal to 1 plus x by 2 if x is less than 1. So in this particular, you can observe that the value is going to be very much less. So since the d is large when compared to ht plus hr, we will modify this according to Taylor's approximation. So this term I will write it as 1 plus x by 2. So it is ht plus hr the whole square by 2d square. Okay, and then further solving this. So apply here also. So by using the Taylor's approximation, we are concerning that the separation distance d is large when we are comparing to ht plus hr, and using this approximation we get the value of simplifying the value of delta as 2 ht hr by d. So this is the expression for path difference delta, that is equal to twice of ht hr by d. Now once the path difference, that is delta, is being known, we can find out the phase difference, that is 2 pi by lambda delta. We know the relation between the phase difference and the path difference. So once delta, that is a path difference, is known, what is the phase difference theta delta? That is 2 pi by lambda delta. Now this can also be written as delta omega c by c. That is just we are modifying this particular equation by replacing lambda is equal to c by f. So in the numerator 2 pi f means this omega c. So just we can write it as delta omega c by c also. So delta equation I have written as fourth equation and fifth as theta delta equation. Now what is our aim? Now coming back to the finding out the total electric field. Now by using the method of images, we have find out what is delta, and we can, if we are having delta, we can find out what is our phase difference, that is theta delta. Now coming back to the expression of total electric field. Okay, in this total electric field, now we are assuming that we are going to calculate a total electric field at this particular point. So the distance at which we find out this point is d double dash. So instead of t, I can replace now as d double dash by c. So this particular term is going to become 0. That is, if you are taking t as d double dash by c, this particular term is cos 0. So we know that cos 0 is 1. So at say t is equal to d double dash by c, the equation we are going to express as such. So this first term, that is, it becomes omega c d double dash minus d dash by c. That is nothing but cos omega c into this. This is the path difference. D double dash minus d dash is nothing but the path difference. So this is what angle value of theta delta, and this become minus E0 d0 by d double dash since cos 0 is 1. So from this expression, see, we can write that value as, for example, this is as angle value of theta delta. Since it is particular value is what? Cos of omega c delta by c. So this delta omega c by c, that is nothing but theta delta, which we have written in the fifth equation. Okay, so this d double dash minus d dash is the path difference delta. So if we have to find out the magnitude, okay, of the total electric field component, our aim is now to find out, say, the magnitude value or the amplitude value of the total electric field component which is going to occur. So if you are assuming that at very large distances, that is if the distance between the base station and the mobile station is going on increasing, for example, consider the first figure, that is if the separation is going to increase, what happens at some point, this d double dash d dash, it is almost going to become identical. Okay, and it is going to differ say only in phase. So that is what is assumed here. So should be noted that as d becomes very much large, the difference between the distances become very small and the amplitude become virtually identical and differ only in phase. So we can modify this particular equation. So we can write it as E0 D0 by D. So since it is angle value of theta delta, that is we have to consider it both the cosine and the sine component. That is there will be a real part and the imaginary part. So that is I will modify it as cos theta delta plus I E0 D0 by D sine theta delta minus E0 D0 by D. Okay, so since if we are considering at some particular distance, almost the value for this d dash and the d double dash, it will become equal as the distance between the transmitter and receiver goes on increasing. Now taking the magnitude and further solving it, we will get the value or the magnitude total value of electric field as such, that is 2E0 d0 by d sine of theta delta by 2. Now this is the expression for the total electric field. Now if we are going to simplify, for example, if the value of this angle theta delta is small, we can rewrite this equation as 2E0 d0 by d into theta delta divided by 2. That is approximately the sine theta delta by 2 can be equal to theta delta by 2. Now how to write the expression for theta delta by 2? So we know that theta delta is 2 pi by lambda delta and the expression for the path difference delta is 2ht/hr by d as got previously. That is we have got delta is equal to 2ht/hr by d and theta delta is 2 pi by lambda into this particular value of delta. That is what is written here. Okay, so we can write the expression for theta delta by 2 as 2 pi ht/hr by lambda d. Now, this particular equation, it is going to simplify whenever the value of sine theta delta by 2 approximately equal to theta delta by 2. So, when we are substituting back, we get the expression for magnitude of total electric field as such 2E0 d0 by d into 2 pi ht/hr by lambda d. Now, why it is written as K by D square volt per meter? Since it is total electric field, the unit is volt per meter and all others are constant except the distance of D, which can vary. That is the distance between the transmitter and receiver. Obviously, between mobile station and base station, the distance is going to vary. Rest all factors, you can see 2 is constant, pi is constant and also the reference values, that is E0, D0 is going to remain the same. And ht/hr, height of transmitter receiver, that is also going to remain the same. So that is why it is written as K by D square. Only D is not a constant. Now we have got the expression for the total electric field as such. Okay, so this is the expression for a total electric field. Now I would like to find out the received power. Okay, so how to find out the received power? So in order to find out the received power, we have to recollect the equation. That is, we have to recollect the equation for the received power in the free space model or from the free space model. What we have written, the received power equation, as well as from the basics of antenna, what was the relation connecting the received power with its impedance. So the received power can be written as E square by eta AE, where AE is the effective aperture of the antenna and eta is a free space impedance, that is 120 pi in free space and eta is the impedance. So from this particular equation, that is from the free space model, the received power equation can be written as such, and where this particular term that represents your effective aperture AE. So instead of E square by eta, we can replace it as Pt Gt by 4 pi d square. That is what is written here. This assumption is very much important. By using this assumption only, they have derived the expression for the received power. Okay, so in textbooks directly these results are written. That is after deriving the electric field to the electric field, then the received power equation, the steps are not fully shown. So basically what they have used is this particular assumption. Okay, so instead of E square by eta, they have replaced from this equation, that is instead of E square by eta, we can replace it as Pt Gt by 4 pi d square. So you have to remember this substitution. Now coming to the received power. So received power will be E square AE by eta. So we have got our E square, we have got our expression for E total. That is 2 E0 D0 by D 2 pi HTHR by lambda D. You have to remember this expression for the total electric field as you have to do the numericals and further solving it. Okay, and then we can replace, as I told in the before, E square by eta can be replaced as Pt Gt by 4 pi d square. So that replacement you have to make in order to get the final expression, and also AE can be replaced as GR lambda squared by 4 pi. So using these and solving, we will get the final expression for the received power of a distance d as Pt Gt Gr Ht square Hr square by d raised to 4. So this is our final expression for the received power at a distance of d. So these are the method by which we find out the received power. So in the ground reflection model, basically we have considered two rays, that is the incident ray and the ground reflected ray. Okay, D dash and D double dash. And in the first case, we have used the method of images and then derive the expression for the path difference delta by using the Taylor's approximation. Then we have written the expression for the phase difference. Then the total electric field expression was being found out. Okay, then after that we had proceeded to find out the received power. So this is how the total value for the received power at a distance of d is given in the case of two-ray model. So if we want, in order to find out the path loss, what will be the path loss? That is the difference between the transmitted power and received power. That also we can find out from this particular equation. Now this is a problem connecting the two-ray model. That is, a mobile is located 5 km away from a base station. So the distance between the mobile station and the base station is given as 5 km. And the standard values, that is the electric field at 1 km from the transmitter, is measured to be 10 raised to minus 3 volt per meter. So at this particular point D0, the value of E0 is given. Okay, so E0 D0 is given, and then frequency of operation is given as 900 megahertz. So we can find out the value of lambda. In this case it is got as 1 by 3, and then the gain of the antenna, that is a receiver antenna, in this case is given as 2.55 dB. So since its value is dB, by using this particular equation we have to convert it and we'll get the value as 1.8. And the length of the antenna is given as lambda by 4. So once we know the value of lambda, we can get the value of L. Now what is the first thing? We have to find out the received power of the mobile. Okay, so in order to find the received power, first we need to know what is the value of total electric field expression. That is, we know it is 2 E0 D0 by D 2 pi HTHR by lambda D. I told you this equation is important. It has to be applied in numerical. So by direct substitution, we know the value of D, that is given as 5 km, and E0 D0 is also known. Height of the transmitter and receiver, see, that is also given in the equation question. So by using all those substitution, we can get the expression for the total electric field. Now what will be the received power? So the received power you can find out by the equation, that is E square by eta AE. Okay, so this is the E square. This particular value we have to square it by eta. Here 377 is taken for the value of eta, and AE, that is effective aperture. So instead of effective aperture, we can replace it as what? GR lambda square by 4 pi. So the value of GR we have got here as 1.8, and this is the lambda square divided by 4 pi. So then we will get the value of received power. So it is expressed in terms of being power, it is expressed in terms of watts or dBm. So this is the expression which we are using to find out the received power once we have got the value of capital E. So this is also a problem based on the ground reflection model. So in this case, I have explained about how to derive the steps of ground reflection model, how to derive the values for the total electric field and the total power which is being received, from which path loss also can be calculated, and a numerical based on the ground reflection model.